Welcome to another episode of Navigating Your Unretired Life, here to help you do that. We're going to be reviewing an excellent book that really helps bring things together. It's a great resource for us and possibly for you. So here we go. The book is called Unretirement, a book written in 2014 by frontrunner Chris Farrell. How baby boomers are changing the way we think about work, community, and the good life. So here's the inside book cover panel that'll really get you to read this. An eye-opening and inspiring report on the profound changes coming to our economy and society in the era of unretirement and what they mean for us all. A lot of people don't even know about this term. I'm really enjoying top ranking on YouTube because in that category, because my whole channel is called that. The budget battles of recent years have amplified the warnings of demographic doomsayers who predicted that a wave of baby boomers would bleed America dry, bankrupting Social Security and Medicare as they faded into an impoverished old age. Oh, man, doesn't sound too good. On the contrary, argues award winning journalist Chris Farrell, we are instead on the verge of broad positive transformation of our economy and society. Unretirement not only explains this economic change now in its early phases, it provides key insights and practical advice for boomers about to navigate this exciting but unsettling new frontier. It is unsettling. It's the first time that people have lived this long and now are faced with these choices with new technology. We'll talk about that. That's a little bit about the author. And this is from his website, chrisfarrell.net. Nice gray hair there. And you can tell he's one of us. A senior economics contributor at Marketplace, America Public Media's nationally syndicated public radio business and economic program, an economics commentator for Minnesota Public Radio and a host of its critical conversations on the creative economy, as well as a columnist for PBS Next Avenue and the Star Tribune. He's published 5 books on personal finance and the economy, including most recently Purpose and a Paycheck, Finding Meaning, Money, and Happiness in the Second Half of Life. Yes, I just love that title. And he has an amazing career in journalism, radio, and television. He earned an undergraduate degree at Stanford University and then spent 4 years as a merchant marine seaman working in the engine room of ships passing through the Suez and Panama canals, steaming past the Rock of Gibraltar under the full moon at midnight, and stopping in ports like Athens, Dubai, Subic Bay, and Yokosuka. He's a proud father of 2 grown sons now and a grandfather. So let's take a sneak peek at the table of contents. I promise I'll keep this short because you got to really read this book. But the titles are really provocative. Work long and prosper is about people doing this, unretired people who, in a whole nother second half of life, are doing this. And this is a cause for celebration. And this is about practical idealism at work. And he has several examples of that and stories to tell. He says, but the only thing we have to fear is fear mongering of some of these economic pundit people are saying, oh, it's the end. You know, the gray tsunami is going to wipe us all out and all that. And then, but he talks about the vanguard of the 2565 revolution. It's a really good chapter. He's really talking about people who've been thinking outside the box, and he's really talking about a whole universal design principle. He talks about, as an example, he talks about the Herman Miller chair, the ion chair, and what went into its design and how that changed the whole marketplace. And that's kind of a metaphor for other ways people to come together and do that. But what we have to get past is we have to get past the old age stereotypes. And we do that by essentially countering them, this, by saying, no, look, we're front runners. We're not old fuddy duddies here. We're actually front runners of this, and we've been doing this for a long, long time. And so, but we need to do this by ourselves and then manage this ourselves. He talks about retirement, a brief history of a radical idea. He talks about the rise of mass retirement in 1950s and what that's meant for us. And then he talks about rewriting the social contract now because of the way things are. And he's got some great ideas for policy changes coming from these really group of smart people that he's been communicating with. The most interesting chapter for me personally is the us generation, where he starts talking about an amazing event that happened with my dear friend Harry Rick Moody, who then at that time was the vice president of academic higher education affairs at AARP. And he gave a talk, a really inspiring talk about Rembrandt and how Rembrandt adapted to changes in the marketplace in his painting and in his life as a metaphor for what other people chimed in with other conversations about their navigating their unretired lives. So that whole chapter is about that. It just goes on and really goes into the whole thing of this us generation. He identifies definitely in this. This is the us group of people. We are it. We're the change we need to see. And then he talks about third age entrepreneurs and companies that are nonprofits that have started accelerators to help older workers transition into this new unretired life, and aging boomers on the job and jobs, important job openings in their, kind of research on what jobs are really kind of more open favor older workers, some of whom are funeral people. But he also talks about, IT and healthcare and higher education, and some government uh, jobs that research has been done on. And then he talks about planning for unretirement. And then he talks about the economic possibilities for grandparents. And that's really interesting based on kind of like he makes an analogy between how pessimistic people were, right with the Great Depression, and then he then talks about what actually happened, that they came out of it, and so this is the time to come out of it again. This was written in 2014, just a few years after the Great Recession. So this is really kind of a historic book as well. And then there's an afterword that's really good. And he's got a great appendix, DIYs, do it yourself. So he has all these, he's really and made a great way, a great service to the people that he refers to, their first name, last name, their role, the name of their organization or company. And then he has a list of the articles that he's written. So you can dive deeply into this, and there's some links in there. So you can really do your own journey here. And that's the whole purpose of this book. It's kind of a guidebook. And he has notes, and there's some great indexes in here. I looked for Rick Moody's name, and there it was. And I said, I bet he's in here. So, and he's, in that chapter called The Us Generation. So this is really, really good. So here's the back cover full of praise for Unretirement. Um, it's a masterpiece offering engaging combinations of economics and entertaining stories. Farrell shows how baby boomers who fear aging may be positively surprised by what retirement is looking like for them. This is into an optimistic future is a must read for anyone about to retire or planning to retire in the next decade. And the next decade has already been there because this was written in 2014. This is by Michael Mandel, and then this strategist from the policy Progressive Policy Institute and former chief economist at Bloomberg Businessweek. Amid a steady drumbeat of doom and gloom predictions that Americans won't be able to afford retire, um, Farrell's book is a refreshing antidote for all the pessimism. His detailed prescription for unretirement is a win-win proposition, good for government policy because it eases the fiscal strain on entitlement programs, good for individuals because it enhances their personal financial well-being, good for society, which can tap a treasure trove of experience and knowledge. By Jan Bonar, editor of the Clippingers Personal Finance Magazine and author of Money Smart Women and Raising Money Smart Kids. So this is really neat. And there's even more praise going on. And I'm going to just stop this right now. One of the things that hadn't happened, it was the advent, the real strong explosion of AI and what the impact is that going to be on work, the future of work. And there's been more developments, more front runners, more unretirees. Like I'm a front runner um, that have been navigating their lives. I've been doing this since age 50 for almost 3 decades now. And I see this as a real opportunity, particularly with this new technology that we have and ways that using our heads and our hearts that we can really do this in a really positive way. So if you need to know more about this, and let's talk. What about you? I want to hear about how you're navigating your unretired life. So let's talk. You can call or text me at 206-920-8067. You can email me at support@newworldcom.com. You can subscribe to my channel. See that little red icon there? You can be a front running subscriber here. I'm already getting top ranking, by the way, on YouTube in my category called Navigating Your Unretired Life. And the more subscribers that I have, the more that will attract more good, more sponsorship, and more initiatives that I can then leverage that to help you even more. But we got to do it as a community. We got to build community together. It's better to work with folks that are in your corner, got your back, than it is to try to do this all alone. And I'm so elated to find this book because, and I've already begun to talk with Chris Farrell, who'd been on vacation, and about asking him where things are going now and what can we do to really move things forward in an even more positive way. So this is great. So I look forward to working with you. So visit my website at newworldcom.com and let's schedule a time that we can meet online with you and key members of your group or your organization, your nonprofit, your small business, your solopreneur business, or your dream of starting a business even. I'm here for you. Thank you so much. And I look forward to working with you.